today. The tools that we're going to need. We'll need of course, we're going to need some scissors. And it always helps if you have some type of a stitch marker. In this case, if you have like a official one you can get, or you can use anything. I'll use a paper clip. And then you'll also need a needle, so you can weave in. And you'll need, and it depends on how tight you want your, and what type of, what size yarn you're using. But today, for what I'm doing, I'm going to be using this 3.75 millimeter size F needle. The yarn that I'm going to use today for the pot, of course you can use any color you'd like, but the main color that I want to do today, it's going to be like this color right here. It's for the dirt, I'm going to use a different color, and it's going to be with this one. I'm using a size 4 yarn, by the way, today, but you can use any size that you want, really. If it's a thinner yarn, you're gonna end up with a smaller pot. And also, the smaller your yarn, your needle, the tighter the stitch will be, creating a smaller size. Also, that'll change the size. Then you'll need a color for your leaves for your pot. So basically, this is what you're going to use. You'll need 3 colors, and then you can add flowers to your pot as well later. But for the pot plant, this is what we're using. To start off, we're going to start with our pot color, because this is going to be for the main pot. So we're going to start off with a magic circle, like that. And then pull through. From here, I'm going to crochet 6 single crochet into the magic ring. So that's 1 single crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull to close. Slip stitch into your first single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to be slip stitching into the first. And there goes our first row. For row 2, we will go ahead and chain 1, and then we're going to increase into every stitch. We're going to increase 6 times. So we have 6 stitches. There's going to be 6 increases. So to increase, you need to work 2 single crochet into each stitch. So I'm going to go into the first here, and that's my first single crochet, and then again into the same stitch, work my second single crochet. I'm going to now go ahead and put my stitch marker into my first stitch to mark where my first stitch is. Now we're going to move over onto the second stitch, and we're going to increase here So we're working 1 single crochet, and then again into the same stitch, 2. Now we're moving on to the next stitch. We'll work 1, and then again into the same stitch, that's 2. Okay. Again, increase, working 2 stitches in each stitch around till you have 12 single crochet in total. So let's count. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And to close this off, we're going to slip stitch into the first. Now the reason why we do our marker here is because if you look at this, it kind of looks like it's another stitch to work into, but it's not. And this is not a stitch, this is the chain 1. So we're going to work into that. That's why I recommend using your stitch markers. So we will go ahead and slip stitch into that first stitch. And that is what we will end up with. And if it's a little bit open here, you can actually go ahead and pull that a little tighter. There you go. Row 3, you're going to go ahead and chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet into the same stitch here. Put our stitch marker. Next stitch we're going to move on to, and we're going to do an increase into the next stitch. So that's going to be 1 and then another 1 into the same stitch. And we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. I'll do it one more time with you. So next stitch will be 1 single crochet. Next stitch, increase. Okay. And once again, 1 single crochet, next stitch, increase. And that will be the pattern all the way around. I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll meet you when I'm at the end. Okay, so here we are at the end of the row. We should have ended up with an increase. Okay, we finish off with an increase, and there should be a total of 18 stitches around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18. And again, you can see that this looks like a stitch, but it's not, and this is our chain 1. So we're going to end this with a slip stitch right into where we placed our stitch marker, which is our first single crochet. I'm going to go ahead and join that with a slip stitch. Let me do that one more time, because for some reason it looks like we have a loose string there. So I'll do that one more time. Slip stitch. All right, so now for row number 4, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet into the first stitch, into the same stitch that you chained in, and we're going to place our stitch marker, and then we're going to work another single crochet into the next stitch. Then we're going to work an increase into the next. So an increased will be 2 single crochet into that same stitch, and that's going to be our pattern for this row around. So it'll be 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, increase all around. Okay, so we're going to do 1 single crochet here, 2, and then an increase right here. Okay, I'll do that again. That's 1 single crochet, and then the next 1 single crochet, and then into here we're doing our increase, which will be 2 single crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so I'm gonna work this all around, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Here we are back again at the end of the row, and so we should have 24 stitches at the end of this. So and we should have ended with an increase at the end of the row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then 24, which we have our stitch marker there, and we are going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. And that's how that should look. All right, so now for row 5, we will chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into that same stitch, and go ahead and place our stitch marker, and then we will be doing another crochet, single crochet into the next stitch, and then into the next stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3. Next stitch we will be doing an increase. So that'll be 1, and then into the same stitch, another 1. And this is going to be our pattern for row 5. 1, 2, 3 single crochet, increase. Again, it'll be 1, 2, 3 single crochet, increase. 1, 2, 3, and here's where we're going to do our increase. That's 1, and then into the same stitch, increase. We'll do this same pattern, 3 single crochet, increase all around until we reach the end of our row. I'll do this off camera and meet you at the end. All right, so here we are at the end of row 5, and we should have ended off with an increase, and we should have a total of 30 stitches all around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So here we're going to slip stitch to join. So now for row 6, we're going to be working along the back loop of the, and I'll show you how. So basically, normally we're working through both loops here, okay? But we're not going to do that. We're going to be working only along the back loops here, okay? And that's going to create the height of the pot. So to begin, we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go ahead and go into the back loop here and 1 single crochet. Stitch mark it. And we will work 1 single crochet along the whole back loops of around the circle, like so. And I will continue doing this off camera and meet you at the end. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 6. And we should still have a total of 30 stitches because we just stitched 1 single crochet into each stitch. So we're going to go ahead and slip stitch to close. And it should look like that. And it's also going to start creating the cup, as you can see. And it should have this look of the edge if you correctly worked only on the back loop. Now for rows 7 through 8, we are going to chain 1, and now we are going to be working through both loops at this point. For the rest of the time, we're going to be working through both loops. And it will be 1 single crochet into each stitch until you reach the end of the row, like so. That's 1. Put your stitch marker in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll I will continue doing this all around till I reach the end of the row. Actually, this is row 7. I'm going to do that repeat again for row 8. I will meet you after I have done rows 7 and 8. Okay, here we are. I have reached the end of row 8, crocheting 1 single crochet into every stitch for both row 7 and 8. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first stitch to close. Now the pattern for row number 9 is going to be chain 1, and we're going to single crochet 7 times, so into each stitch 7. So into the same stitch here, I'm going to go ahead and That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the next stitch here, we're going to increase 1, and into the same stitch here, increase. So that will be the pattern for row 9. It's going to be 7 single crochet and then an increase. So we'll be doing the same here. 7 single, we can do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this is where we'll be increasing. 1, 2. So we will repeat this pattern all around till we reach the end of the row, and I will meet you back at the end. Okay, and we are at the end of row 9, and we will close with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. For row 10, chain 1, and we will be single crocheting 1 stitch into each stitch around, all around till the end of the row. So that's how row 10 will be, just 1 single crochet worked in, oops, I dropped my stitch marker, into each stitch until we reach the end of the row. I will continue doing this and meet you at the end. Okay, and we are here at the end of row 10, and we will be joining with a slip stitch. Oh, there we go. Now for row 11, we are going to go ahead and chain 1, single crochet into same chain space here, not chain space, just same chain, and we're going to put our stitch markers on. And from here the pattern will be 10 single crochet, and then we'll increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next will be an increase. So right here we got 1, and into the same space, increased. This will be our pattern all around till we end up on the other side of the row, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, here we are at the end of row 11. We created 1 single crochet for 10 spaces, 10 stitches, and then 1 increase. Now for the end of this row, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch to join. Now for row 12, we're going to chain 1 and we will single crochet into the first chain that we worked in, and we will go ahead and place our stitch marker, and we will be working one single crochet into each stitch until the end of the row. And I will continue doing this, and when I reach the end, I will be back. Okay, and here we are at the end of row 12. We will close with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. For row 13, we're going to chain 1, and we will work one single crochet into the first stitch here. Okay, and we're going to single crochet a total of 13 stitches and then an increase. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and now we will increase in this stitch. Okay. And that will be the pattern worked all the way around until you reach the end. I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, here we are at the end of row 13. And we will close it with a slip stitch at the first single crochet. So now for rows 14 through 16, we're going to do the same. Chain 1, one single crochet into the same stitch, and we're going to work one single crochet into each stitch until you reach the end of the row. And I will be doing this off camera, and I will meet you at the end of row. We'll do 14 through 16. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of row 16. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 16, and that should give us 11 rows on the side of our pot. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows. And I'm going to go ahead and close this off here with a slip stitch. Now for row 17, which will be our last row, we're going to chain 3. And then we will turn our work over. And for this row, we are going to be working through our back loops only. Again, here's our first stitch. So we're not going to be working through both loops. We're going to be working through this back loop all the way around this row. Okay. And we will be double crochets for the first stitch. So we're going to loop over, back row, back loop here, pull through 2, pull through 2. That is our first double crochet. We can put our stitch marker. Again, double crochet through the back loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Again, back loop, pull through 2. And so we're going to do that all the way around till we reach the end of our row, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, here we are at the end of our row, and we can now slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet, not into the chain 3. We're going to actually do it at the top of our single crochet here. So we'll slip stitch to join, and now you can go ahead and slip knot. Okay. Once you have that, you can go ahead and flip this over. And it should look like this. Next, we're going to pull out our brown yarn. This is going to be to create the dirt part of the pot. And so to do that, we're basically going to repeat what we did here. We're going to start with our magic circle. You're going to basically do the same pattern for rows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you'll start with your magic circle and repeat rows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'll meet you back here at the end of row 5. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 5. Go ahead and chain 1, single crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to do that 4 times. So we will create 4 single crochet and then increase. That's 1, 2, and so we're going to do that pattern all the way around. It'll be 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increase 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increase, and we'll do that all around till we reach the end of the row. Okay, here we are at the end of row 6, and so now we're going to close this off with a slip stitch and the slip knot, and we should end this with a long tail because we're going to use this to sew our dirt into the pot. Okay, so we'll cut this off long. So there we have our dirt. Okay, now we are pulling out our green to create our leaves. Okay. And the leaves, you can basically make them as long. You can make them as long or as short as you'd like, however you are wanting these to hang on the side of your pot. Okay, so each one will be a little different. So now I'm actually working with a smaller needle this time. You're going to see me with a different needle here because I just want my leaves to be a little smaller. So I am working with a 2.5 millimeter, but you can still work with a larger needle if this is a little too small for, because it is a thick yarn I'm working with. In this case, I just want it to be smaller. So I'm going to first start with a slip knot. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to single crochet into our second chain from the hook. So here's our hook. This is the first chain right here. That's second chain. We're going to work into right here. Pull through 1 loop. So you'll have 2 loops on the chain, and then we'll go ahead and pull through, and that's our single crochet. Then we'll half double crochet into the next chain. Oh, let me do that again. It's a little tricky because I'm working with such a tiny needle. So a half double crochet, which we'll be pulling through all 3 loops. Then we will into the next stitch, single crochet. Then into the next, right here, our last chain, it's going to be a slip stitch. Okay. Then we're going to come around to the other side here. We can hold this here and go ahead and slip stitch into this side. And then we're going to work into the next loop over a single crochet. And let's leave this tail in so that we can kind of like hide that in as we do our first single crochet. Into this next loop here, we're going to work a half double crochet. So we'll loop over, put it into the next chain, pull through all 3. Okay. Next chain here, we're going to single crochet, And then we will finish up here on this last chain right here with a slip stitch. Chain 1, and then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch back into the beginning again here. So we should have some, you see these little holes here for each little stitch. With our string in the back, our yarn in the back, we're going to put our needle in through this first little hole, pull through, and we're going to slip stitch. Again, in the next little space over, pull through, slip stitch. Next, pull through, slip stitch. And you can do that here as well to finish off. Slip stitch. Okay. That's our first little leaf, and then we will go ahead and chain. We can do about 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we can cut this off as well, since we already weaved that in, so we won't need that. So now we are going to create another leaf from the second chain in, right here. We're going to work a single crochet. Next chain over, half double crochet. Next chain over, single crochet. And then a slip stitch. Okay. Now we're going to kind of flip this over so we can work on the other side of our leaf. And I'm going to slip stitch that right there so that we can now continue into our next chain here, and we're going to single crochet into this chain. Next chain, half double crochet. Next chain, single crochet, and into this last little chain here we're going to slip stitch. Okay. Chain 1, slip stitch back into that space. Then we're going to go into our next little spot here, and we'll slip stitch our way back. Okay, then we can kind of choose, I guess, which way we want our leaf to go. If you want your leaf to kind of have a tilt this way, then you would flip over and slip stitch on that side. But if I wanted it to turn the other way, we just flip it over and then slip stitch on this side. And when we do this through our throughout this, see what happens is that's what creates our little zigzags. So I wanted one on this side, back and forth like that for this one. But you can do that however you want. So if you want the next one to have two on this side, you just flip over which way you want that. So now to create the next leaf, you just repeat. I'm doing 10 chains. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you are repeating this pattern all the way through till you'll have as many leaves as you want. I'm going to go ahead and create as many. I'll do probably 2 more here and I'll be back. Okay, so this one I'm going to leave it short. So I just made 3. And then to end it off, I'm just chaining. I made 10 chains here. So about 10. Maybe actually a little bit longer if you want it to hang a little bit lower. And leave a long tail. It doesn't have to be super long, but long enough to attach it to the dirt at the end. So here we are, we've got our leaves, and you basically can make as many of these as you want, depending on how thick you want your potted plant to be. Yeah, this is what I've got going so far for the potted plant. Oops. This is the dirt. This goes inside of here. And then the leaves are going to be fed through here. And yeah, and then there'll be flowers, and then it'll be hanging. I think I might make a little cute face on the side there just because it's cute. So now to create the flowers that will go on our plant. Here's one that's already attached, but normally I think it would be best to attach the flowers on last. I'm just showing you how it looks. Okay. And so we just need to go ahead and take our white yarn and we'll create a magic circle. Okay. And from here we're going to chain 3. And we're going to double crochet into the magic ring. And then chain 3. We're going to slip stitch into the ring. And then we can slide that over, and we have now created our first petal for the flower. For the next petal, we'll chain 3 again, 3, double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch, pull that over, and that will be petal number 2. So we're going to repeat that pattern around again 5 times to create 5 petals. Just chain 3, double crochet, chain 3 again, 3, slip stitch into the ring, pull it over, and now you've got petal number 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet, chain 3, and slip stitch. Slide that over. Okay. And we're going to do that one last time. So we'll chain 3. That's 1, 2, and 3. Double crochet, chain 3, and then slip stitch. And now we can go ahead and pull to close our magic ring. Pull here. And pull that center. Oh, I pulled the wrong string. All right, pulling here to tighten it. And since I pulled out the wrong string, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch that in. And then basically you can go in through the center here now, and we're going to change our color. So we have our chain here from our slip stitch, and we're going to put a little pink center here. So we're going to grab our pink, so we'll put our needle into the center here, okay, and we're going to pull our pink through, and we can go ahead and pull our white to make it snug. And then we'll slip stitch again with our pink. We actually chain it or slip stitch. You can pull that through. And if you want a bigger dot, you just go ahead and do it again. And then one last time. Oops, I need to pull through, make sure I pull the full string through. Okay, and now this time we're going to slip knot. Kind of pull it long. And we can go ahead and cut our string. And pull that through. So we've got to kind of, just tighten everything up nice. And then we can feed this back and weave it in through the back. Pull that through the back. And there you have it. Flower is done. You can go ahead and, now I would cut the white a little longer because we're going to use this to sew on onto the leaves. And also we can go ahead and knot this, create a nice knot. Depends on how you want to tie that knot. I guess this way would be fine. Nice and tight. Okay, and then we can tie off the other pink. I'll leave the longer one. I'm going to cut this shorter string because this will be the one that we use to sew onto the leaves. And that is our flower. Okay, so here we have a completed pot, and I weaved in the tail. I did not weave in this one because this is basically going to be hiding anyway inside. Now we're going to create the chain for the hanging part of the plant. I marked with my stitch marker exactly where I will be connecting the chains so it will hang. For this pattern, it's about 13 chains, and so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So every 13, and you should have, it should look about evenly spaced. Next, we will start with our first And we're going to enter in here like so. And pull through. And create your first chain. And now basically you're gonna just chain for as long as you want your hanging plant to hang. So this is completely up to you how long you want it. Okay, so here I chained about 50 chains for my pot because I only want it to come out about that long. So, and you want to pick a number that you can split it in half. So it's 25 on this side, 25 on this side, because then you're going to have to make a chain of 25, make them all even. So 50, and I'm just going to come alongside here to the next spot here, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch this, actually slip knot it into that spot, and can go ahead and cut that. And we'll be weaving that in, and well, you might not have to actually do that because once we put the dirt in, you can sew that. Okay, so that'll be that part. Then we will go ahead and do the same here, but on this side I'm going to, since I made 50 chains here, half of 50 is 25 on this side, 25 on this side, so I'm going to chain from here up to, and I'll do 25, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I have created the last chain. I did my 25, and now I can go ahead and slip stitch into the middle chain here to, and then so we're slip stitching, and then you can slip knot and snip that out. You can cut, and there you go. Okay, now we're going to assemble everything. Now just for an idea for your pot, you can get a piece of cardboard. Just cut a piece of cardboard and make it more stable inside. And so before we place our dirt into our pot, we're going to go ahead and start feeding the leaves into the center here of our dirt. So to do that, you'll take one, come through the center of the hole, and just pull your yarn through the other side. And you'll do that for all your leaves. Now, of course, you're going to have as many as you want. Depends on how full you want your potted plant to be. And so you'll do that for all. So now we have, I have 4. I decided I just wanted about 4 of them. Next, we will go ahead and take some cotton and just place it in on top of the cardboard circle. Just a little more in there. And you can add more if you feel like you would like it a little bit more full. Now for these, once you have them in, you would need to, once you decide like how long you want them, you're gonna have to tie a knot here. And that should hold it in place. Then we can go ahead and place this here. I might take out a little bit for now and add more if I need to later, but just so that it's not awkward. Okay, and then next we'll need our needle, and we can take the end of our long tail that we left for the dirt. And so here we're going to go ahead and just sew this in. So we'll be go ahead and sew all around to complete that, and I will meet you at the end. And really you can add your flowers wherever you like. I'm going to go ahead and sew one on with you. Okay, so here I have my needle, my yarn threaded through the needle from the back of the flower. I'm just going to pick a spot, and I think right here probably be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that in. A little knot. And you can just weave it in, I guess, you know, into the flower. And you can go ahead and cut it. And there you go. So you're going to do that all around your leaves. You can put them anywhere, these flowers anywhere you want.